Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
I'm here to save the day. I'm here to save the day.
Soon I will be invincible. Because comics. Welcome to Because Comics. This is episode 56. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and I'm joined by my co-host, the lollygagging Mike Christensen.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, if you could engage in the podcast, Mike, that would be great.
Yeah, no, I'll be.
But we've started at this point.
Okay.
So I mean, you're in you're right now. You're in front of the mic, like you're speaking.
Finishing up some things.
What are you?
Just gonna go ahead and like that on Tumblr.
Okay, just put your phone down so we can start beginning.
Blog.
God damn it. Okay.
And add some tags. Okay.
Yeah, great. You could have done that before we started.
I was, and then I just kept doing it.
I mean, you think we should cut this out?
No.
All right, fair enough. So, guys,
let's talk about the comic books that we read every time they come out, be they monthly or usually just monthly.
Very accurate time you
give there. A long time to make comics.
It does.
Jay, what you reading?
Guys,
what comic books are you reading?
I'm reading a new comic book by Image Comics.
Hey, them.
Called The Fix.
Cool.
It is written by a writer that is so loved these days by the comic community. This writer's name...
I should say it's probably not the comic community that's got an issue with him. It's the...
Yeah, I guess maybe it's just...
the comic reading community.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess I wasn't specific. So the comic reading community, not too happy with this writer. Nick Spencer of Captain America Hail Hydra fame.
Spoilers for that issue that was on the cover of USA Today.
That's everywhere. Good for him, by the way, that he got...
That sure did blow up.
Yeah, that blew up way bigger than I'm sure they ever thought that was going to blow up.
Yeah.
And... artist Steve Lieber.
Now, have they ever worked together on something that you also loved?
It's so weird to think about. There was a comic run. I can't put my finger on it. It feels like it was Superior Foes of Spider-Man, but I can't be 100% sure.
It sounds like that's right.
Yeah. Guys, so I do really love Nick Spencer. Now, I know a lot of people have some very strong feelings about Nick these days.
About two pages of a comic book, and they've made some pretty sharp decisions on.
And to be fair, guys, twists for characters have never happened in a comic book ever before.
Here, to be fair, we don't know the second issue yet. Like, let's just reserve judgment until we know a little more.
I have never seen so much outrage over a comic book, but this is not the comic book I'm here to talk about, even though we've talked about it quite a bit already.
We will at some point.
We'll talk about that one eventually. Maybe that'll be a main segment, but
maybe it'll be a poll.
Yeah.
We haven't read the second issue yet. We don't know if it's good.
Kind of get a little bit more context beyond that first issue.
Yeah.
But basically, Nick Spencer has written another comic book called The Fix for Image Comics. And it has much more of a feel closer to Superior Foes of Spider-Man and less of Nazi Captain America. So for those who didn't read Superior Foes of Spider-Man, shame on you. Go read that now. Now that you're back, hey, so what a great run. The Superior Foes of Spider-Man series is very similar to The Fix because it's all about crappy criminals. And this comic is very much about that. We kind of start the comic following these criminals being like, man, being a criminal these days, really tough. And it's written very much in the Nick Spencer style, very charming. It almost feels like the Shane Black for comics.
Yeah.
Is how I like to describe Nick Spencer.
I definitely think that side of him comes out in Superior Foes.
Yeah,
definitely.
And if you don't know who Shane Black is, he wrote Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, all the Lethal Weapon movies. I think all of them.
I don't know about all of them, but
he started Lethal Weapon.
The Last Action Hero,
Last
The Last Boy Scout.
He just did Nice Guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all that sarcastic... Buddy comedy bit.
Yeah.
So, The Fix is very much a Shane Black buddy comedy comic. It's about who you start off, and this isn't giving any away. This comic, by the way, the first issue is very long. I was very surprised. I felt like I was flipping through DC Rebirth again. I was like, oh my God, there's a million chapters in this first comic.
Yeah.
But it's basically about two dirty cops who are essentially using their leverage and their position as being cops to make money. Now, they're not very good at it, just like in the same line as Superior Foes of Spider-Man.
Right.
These are not genius cops who have figured out a way to pull the things over on all these other people. They are terrible at it. They are in debt to all the wrong people because they are terrible with their money and they spend all of it on secret BattleBot fights in Hollywood. That's right. BattleBot fights.
Sure.
And they do not learn any of their lessons, as Nick Spencer characters don't.
Right.
And it's really funny. It's very dark comedy, and a lot of this is contributed to this artist who he's obviously worked with before in Superior Foes, who does a great job of taking these could be really dark scenes, but the way they're drawn and the way they're colored give more of that lighthearted feel to it, even though these are obviously terrible situations. Like, you meet in the story, you meet this kind of mob boss figure that they sometimes run into or do jobs for, and he is a very terrifying figure, but how he does his business and who he is in his day-to-day life is played with this very dark comedy edge to it that only the two of them, Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber, could have kind of pulled off together. So it's really, really funny. It's very dark comedy, so if you don't like that stuff, if you didn't like Superior Foes of Spider-Man, you're probably not going to like this, but if you like Nick Spencer outside of this whole Captain America thing...
If you like his
style.
sort of... If this style.
Look,
He's done other things. He did... I think he was the writer on Ultimate X-Men when it came back, or
Right.
Ultimate Comics X-Men, so he has a wide range.
But if you enjoyed the current Ant-Man run, the Astonishing Ant-Man, if you like Superior Foes of Spider-Man, if you like kind of those comics that really, in my opinion, really brought him into the comic zeitgeist these days and probably landed him some of the jobs, especially the Captain American job, you will love The Fix.
The lovable losers.
The Lovable Losers, that is 100% this comic, and I'm not going to tell you any more. Pick it up and enjoy the very long first issue. The Fix, guys. Check it out. Mike, what is your pull?
My pull is a Boom Box comic, written by Hope Larson, art by Brittney Williams, colors by Sarah Stern. It's called Goldie Vance.
Ooh.
It is a 4-issue miniseries. 2 issues are out by the time we're recording this. It's set in the 60s, and it's about a teen girl working as a detective in a hotel.
That sounds very cool.
It's very cool. Now, she's not hired as the detective. She's working for a detective in the hotel, but she is more competent than him and intelligent than him.
Wait, is this a detective for the hotel?
Yes.
So
Hotel
the
detectives are not really a thing anymore, but they're definitely a thing in fiction, and I believe that they have a historical precedence.
Wait, there were detectives just for hotels?
Yeah.
What? So it was like, who left all these pillows on the floor?
Well, people
detective on
steal
the
things
case.
from hotels and like get
Right.
into safes and like...
Was there enough of a deficit in funds for like shampoo gone missings that they had to get detectives in?
Jay, I was born in 1988. I've never seen a real hotel detective. I just know about them from fiction.
I am just amazed. I'm sorry to completely derail this poll, but it's amazing to me that there were hotel detectives.
Well, I mean, for example, she has to deal with some things like missing jewelry, like very expensive jewelry.
You know what? That
like,
is a great example.
or dealing with things with like the cars and the valet and stuff. But she's also like, she definitely steals a car to go street race so she can deal with some other aspect of her personal life and like bets the car that is not hers.
So that is definitely like a no-no in the Hotel Detective Handbook.
But at least she's not officially the hotel detective. So
There you go.
It's
That's
fine.
true.
No, it's just like a fun series about like, it's teenage drama set in a hotel detective, but it's like lighthearted. It's the more fun aspects of Veronica Mars, not like the more dire aspects. It's just, and it fits very much with their style of boombox comics that are like Lumberjanes or Strange Places, I believe is the name of the comic.
I think you're right. Is this in this era? Is it in the 2016?
60s. 60s.
Oh, okay.
60s.
60s. Got it.
60s.
I think you said that earlier, and I forgot.
It's true. Both of those things are true.
Yep.
I believe there's greasers and everything.
Wow.
And the color style, I just want to point this out because the colors are by Sarah Stern, and they're really, really evocative and really kind of bring you into this sort of fun, poppy is not quite the right word, but very sort of bright pastels. It's a really cool palette that's very much sets the tone for the book in a really cool way. And the art is incredible and the writing is great. So like, I don't have a lot to say about it. Just like, I really enjoyed this comic. It's a great all ages book about just hotel crimes and just like personal lives, fun and jazz and stuff.
Wow.
It's neat.
It sounds great.
You all should read Goldie Vance.
I love it.
End of line.
All right. Perfect. Well, Mike, that was a great pull.
Oh, thank you. Yours as well, sir.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that'll be taking us into our main segment. Mike, kick things off.
Thunderstrike, number 1. Blood Without Glory. Jay, your face.
You son of a bitch.
That's right, guys.
Oh, my God.
Thunderstrike.
You monster.
We talked about Thunderstrike
We
a
should
little.
clarify who Thunderstrike is.
I'm about to. We talked about Thunderstrike a little bit in the last episode, in that he is the architect Thor. Little bit of context.
A little more than that?
So shortly after the Walt Simonson run, during the run by Tom DeFalco, Thor was on Earth. He was working as a construction worker for like an issue or two, and he met someone named Eric Masterson, who had a master's in architecture.
Boo.
They ended up going on a couple of cosmic adventures together and ended up bonded. With the whole thing that happened all the time in comics, especially when you go back to like Captain Marvel, not the Carol Danvers one, but the other one from space, but still the Marvel version, not the DC version. Don't worry, there have been a lot of people named Captain Marvel.
There have.
But the first one shared a body with Rick Jones.
Oh.
So much in that way, and it's happened a couple times. I mean, to be fair, Donald Blake and Thor, except they're the same person. I don't know. Donald Blake has always been super dumb, but don't worry about it. What's important is that Eric Masterson was Thor. They shared a brain, and they shared a life.
So, like, Thor went into his body?
I think so.
Kind of like a astral body possession kind of thing?
It was like a firestorm, but not really, because like they were never... I don't know. I haven't read these comics. I've just tried to make sense of it on Wikipedia. But the point is, they were separated, and Thor went back to Asgard full time. And he left Eric in charge of Earth. Eric is a normal human man, but he had spent several issues turning into Thor through the magic of being shared with Thor. So Thor gave him a mace that looks a lot like Mjolnir, except it's not a hammer, it's a mace. And the side said, "The world still needs heroes." And then the name of the hammer, Thunderstrike. But it was a walking stick first, and then he would slam it on the ground, and he's like, "Oh, look, it's a mace, and I'm Thor." And he looks exactly like Thor.
All right, fair enough.
So this issue is written by Tom DeFalco. This is when Thunderstrike got his own series. Written by Tom DeFalco, pencils by Ron Frenz, finished art Al Milgrom, colors by Mike Rockwitz, and editor Ralph Macchio, no relation, although he was nicknamed Karate Kid.
What a surprise.
The opening caption, and I want to go ahead and preface, we are setting this in 1993, and you will be able to tell.
Ooh, good.
Carjacking, a national disgrace that has spread across this land like an unchecked cancer. Carjacking, no one is safe.
Oh, God.
3 hoodlums in ski masks drag a woman out of her car, and she starts screaming, because of course she does. And they're like, "Oh, that was a bad move," but before they can do anything to silence her, Thor drops onto the roof of the car, except it's not Thor.
Thunderstrike.
Well, it's Eric Masterson, who looks like Thor, because when he slams his hammer down, or his mace, his walking stick down, and it becomes a mace, he looks like Thor. Just straight up Thor. And he's got the helmet. At this time, he's wearing a helmet that also has a mask attached.
Oh, so he doesn't show his face?
Right. Although he looks like Thor underneath, so it doesn't matter. But that's just part of his costume in this era.
Fair enough.
He has the beard. He jumps down. He clotheslines 2 of the thugs with his arms, pushing them away from the hostage. The third crook thinks, "Well, my boss will fry me if I run out on the others." So he drives the car straight at the superhero, because he might as well try. And Eric brings his mace.
And he's never heard of Thor before.
He brings his mace down on the hood of the car and just obliterates it.
Right.
Like the engine block, the whole front, everything about the front of the car is just ruined. And this cop runs up. He's like, "Oh, I heard this. Oh, hey, look, it's resolved." And Eric says, basically in Thor's voice, "Everything is under control, officer." And he thinks, the woman's okay, but what about her car? Who's going to pay for it? Will her insurance company cover her? Wish I could have avoided damaging it, but things happen too quickly. I wonder if the Avengers have some sort of group liability policy, or should I look into opening one of my own? Like,
Wow.
He's struggling with how to be a superhero, basically.
Very interesting.
Because when he just tapped out and Thor
hasn't
took
gotten
over,
his patented quips yet that he says and then flies off into the sky.
well, it's like, this is all in his mind.
Right.
But it's him trying to deal with, like, well, how do I be superhero? Am I superhero now?
Do we exchange insurance?
It's that.
Or,
It's exactly like,
what happens here?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. The cop mentions this group is part of an organized gang
Of hoodlums?
of hoodlums, of carjackers. And he also calls Eric Thor because he looks exactly like Thor.
Makes sense.
So, of course, he does.
My name's Thunderstrike.
Well, it's not. It's Eric.
Oh, wait. He goes by Eric?
He doesn't go by anything yet. He has to figure out what to call himself.
Okay.
He has yet to decide.
Please call me Eric Masterson.
He does not know that he is in the comic book titled Thunderstrike.
Gotcha.
He does have a mace named Thunderstrike, so you wonder if maybe he could get there a little faster
Like
than
a-
he does.
To be fair, Thor doesn't call himself Mjolnir because
That's
that would be
true.
super hard to spell for kids.
Yep, that's true. Eric flies away thinking about how this is a problem he needs to address because I'm not Thor. Thor's his own guy. And little recap, walking stick, spent some time in his body, whatever. He says, or he thinks, he'll have to pull out the thesaurus and find his own name. After all, how hard can it be to come up with a cool-sounding name? Not very, considering the Einsteins who usually write those hokey comic books that my son is always buying.
Very meta, Thunderstrike.
It's the 90s. We're discovering meta.
Very weird.
He meets up with a girl named Samantha for, I don't think it's a romantic date, but that is not made clear for someone who hasn't been reading the Thor comics.
Is he still in full Thunderstrike garb?
No, he's Eric again.
Okay.
He's back as Eric.
Now, Eric walks around with a walking stick?
Yes.
Is he, like, injured when he's not Thoring it up?
No.
Okay.
But he does have a mullet. Does that count? No, then no, he's not He's not even really a mullet. Not as bad as some of the other
I'm
mullets.
just imagining a person who's totally fine walking normally, but just happens to have a walking stick.
And it doesn't look like a cane. It looks like
Right.
a stick of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And he's not like a professor.
That's a Thor problem.
That's very weird.
It's a Thor problem that the movies have very efficiently dealt with by not having any Donald Blake turns into Thor business.
Like, if I just, like, just started walking around with a walking stick.
I would think you were a pretentious douche.
Exactly. Like, you would have some type of intervention. Like, that would not be acceptable behavior.
To be fair. Anyway, so meanwhile, when he runs up to this lunch date, a shadowy figure watches him from a rooftop. Someone who also watched him fly away from the carjacking as not Thor. Samantha tells him that she just bought a place. She's looking for a roommate. She also mentions Eric's ex-wife. So I really hope this is not a romantic relationship that they're having. Because that's a really awkward thing to bring up on a date. I think they're just friends. But Eric's ex-wife is doing pretty well. According to the news, she's opening another health club.
According to the news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut to Marcy Steele, presumably formerly Masterson.
Cool last name.
Yes. She married up. Filming an infomercial with the New York Smashers. They're a football team, I guess. And posing with her superstar husband, Bobby Steele. Black hair, mullet, and mustache.
Cool.
Just
90s.
Curly. Yeah, you get it. I don't know why he's a superstar, but he's built like a linebacker, so maybe he used to play. I don't know. I haven't read the Thor comics that came before this. Bobby excuses himself and goes off with the guys at the end of the shoot, and Marcy thinks, Bobby has been acting real moody the last few weeks, and he's spending an awful lot of time with the guys. I never faced problems like this with Eric. Outside, though, Bobby excuses himself from the guys, saying, I'm pretty bushed. And he thinks about how Marcy seems to be getting suspicious.
Ooh.
I always knew that I'd eventually have to come clean, but I'll never convince her that I'm doing right by... Then a gang member interrupts this thought by clubbing him in the back of the head, knocking him unconscious, and stealing his car.
Ooh.
The gang member drives
Man, carjacking is an epidemic in the city.
It is, very much. The gang member drives it to a chop shop, apparently wearing his ski mask the entire time, victorious, and like, yeah, look at this awesome, sweet car I got. But then a huge guy in a trench coat, dreadlocks, and a metal mask picks up the gang member by his collar and holds him in the air.
Whoa.
And shouts about how the gang member, Sherman, got blood on the car, which lessens retail value. I guess they are not chop-shopping it. They're just selling these stolen cars. I don't know. Anyway, this guy's name is Carjack.
Wow.
Yeah. It's hard to get a little more 90s than...
His name is Carjack.
Actually, we're going to get more 90s when we get to, like, Cable and...
Right.
Like, Adam X the Extreme, but... Anyway.
But a guy just called Carjack.
With a metal mask and a trench coat. Yeah, we're in the 90s now.
Pretty amazing.
He says, we cannot continue to hold this city in a grip of true terror without proper discipline. We already lost 3 of our brothers today. The time has come to increase the pressure and turn up the heat.
Wow. There's a supervillain called Carjack, and all he does is carjack.
Yeah. Yep. Eric goes to school to pick up his son, Kevin, but his former assistant, Susan Austin, is there, and she now works for Marcy, so that's a little bit awkward.
Got her in the breakup.
Post-breakup, actually.
Yeah, right.
It's weirder.
Yeah.
He finds out that Bobby, Kevin's stepfather, was attacked by carjackers, landed in the hospital. And he's not, happy about it. Sure, he resents Bobby for marrying Marcy, but it's not like Bobby stole Marcy away.
He doesn't wish the most terrible act of carjacking upon anyone.
But it's also not like they were together and then Bobby came in. They were already divorced. And, to be fair, he's been good to Kevin. It's fine. Then Kevin says, Dad, I need you to help Bobby. I know that you're friends with Thor. Call him. Maybe he can get Captain America and the rest of Avengers to find the guy who hurt Bobby.
Also, what a great setup for that kid. Your dad knows Thor and can call the Avengers. Is it any better?
Hercules crashed on their couch for a while.
That kid has the best life.
Meanwhile, cut to the hospital. Bobby gets 6 stitches in the back of his head.
Quite a few.
But the doctor says that's not that bad compared to some of the other carjacking cases they've seen.
Man, there's just carjacking on every page of this comic.
Bobby is pissed, though, saying, "Those miserable punks don't know who they're messing with." He finds out from the doctor that 3 carjackers were taken into custody earlier that day. He's very interested in that information.
Bobby Steele, don't take this into your own hands.
Cut to a locker room. Hours or only mere minutes that pass before muffled footsteps are heard within a deserted locker room. We see a gloved hand take a duffel bag out of a locker and remove a massive axe,
Whoa.
which used to belong to the executioner.
Oh, very specific.
Well, this is, again, a character who has been introduced already.
Yeah, we know. Oh, so for the audience.
It doesn't say that, but I'm telling you.
Okay.
Just to put this axe in reference, it was the executioner's axe.
Oh, okay. But it's actually not even mentioned in the comic, really?
Not in this one,
Okay.
but in earlier appearances, I think. And this voice that takes this axe thinks, "The authorities are so anxious to prove that they're on the job, they couldn't wait to hold a press conference on the captured carjackers. That's no guarantee they'll actually pay for their crimes, or that the police will get any closer to the rest of the gang. I have deliberately kept a low profile since my last bitter confrontation with the authorities, but I can no longer ignore my duty if justice is to be truly served." And we see this person. This is the Thor villain Blood Axe,
Whoa.
who wears a red chrome skull mask, spiky armor plates over a leather jacket, and has huge, like, foot-sized skull red kneecaps.
Whoa.
Or knee pads.
Did he borrow those from Lobo?
Yeah, they're Lobo-esque.
Wow.
We cut to the 3 crooks that were arrested sitting in a cell. One of them notices someone in a mask approaching.
Wait a second. I almost let this go by. Blood Axe?
Yes.
His name is Blood Axe.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Cut to those guys in prison. One of them sees someone approaching with a mask, and then he is annihilated.
Wait, the guy in a mask is annihilated?
No, the guy watching, who's the guy,
Oh.
the crook, he's like, "Hey, someone's coming," and then he's vaporized
Wait, lasers or by axe?
by laser axe.
Oh, awesome. Even better.
Yes. And Blood Axe stands there in the, smoldering remains as it demands to know where Carjack is. Eric.
I'm going to be honest. If I was Carjack, I feel like I was punching a little bit above my weight at this point. If a guy named Blood Axe with like a laser axe just took out one of my henchmen.
Cut to Eric in his sort of Thor mode, leaping across the city. He notices that Thunderstrike isn't as smooth of a ride as Mjolnir was. With Mjolnir, you could just throw it forward and it would carry you. And this one seems shakier somehow. It's not quite the same weapon.
Probably because it wasn't forged from the heart of a star. Probably.
I don't know. I don't know the origin of.
Because it's like a knockoff.
I feel like, if you're Thor, you don't give someone something of equal value.
Yeah, you're like, I mean, I have this in like my drawer. You could borrow this. It's like, oh, awesome.
It's like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna make you my Oh, what if he goes bad and I have to fight him? I'm gonna give you this one. This is the one we're giving you,
This is my cousin's hammer.
Jeff.
He used to make IKEA furniture with it.
Eric follows a police car, and he sees this police car racing past, and he wonders how he's supposed to strike a balance. Does he help everyone? How does that leave him with a personal life? What is he supposed to do? Well, he'll figure that out another day.
Man,
I
Eric's got a
suppose.
lot of complicated thoughts about superheroing.
Well, he's starting to examine it. He's starting to really consider like what it means. He's not Spider-Man. He's not even Thor. He's his own guy. He's got to figure out.
He's an architect, man. Who part-time is part Thor.
Yeah, pretty much. Cut to Blood Axe smashing in the wall of Carjack's warehouse. But before he can start slaughtering people like he's definitely going to do.
Of course. His name is Blood Axe.
Yes. Eric charges in and tackles him. And he says he somehow managed to use his own enchanted weapon to trail Blood Axe across the city.
Interesting.
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, Eric drives Blood Axe through the opposite wall into the street, into the alley where they fight. Blood Axe is pretty tough, and he's shrugging off most of Eric's hits. He's fought Thor before.
Yeah, I mean, if you can go toe-to-toe with Thor and you're still alive, and you still have the Executioner's axe, like, you're probably pretty good.
And he's hitting hard enough that Eric kind of has to realize, like, oh, I'm not at Thor's level. And he tries to slam his mace down to summon Thunder, but Thunderstrike doesn't do that, apparently.
Oh, no.
Swell. Looks like I found another way Thunderstrike differs from Mjolnir.
This is a very interesting comic where they're like, we're going to give you Thor, but, like, take away some of the stuff about Thor and then make him over-examine Thor.
Yep. Anyway, Blood Axe beats the crap out of him.
Wow.
And just leaves him there. He shouts as they fight, "You dare call yourself an Avenger? Ha! I am the one who has sworn to crush those who shed innocent blood, to avenge those who cannot avenge themselves. This city overflows with filth. Decent people are afraid to walk the streets. You costume pretty boys must learn that you cannot coddle criminals. You must kill them.
Is this Spawn?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's Blood Axe.
Oh, okay, Blood Axe.
There's a lot of anti-heroes in the 90s. Just
Right.
Be prepared for that.
Right. Thought we were dealing with Spawn for a moment. Never mind.
Meanwhile, Carjack's men unmask and attempt to leave as anonymous citizens as the cops are arriving. The cops stop them all because, of course.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I guess there's nothing they can charge them with.
No, they have no evidence on
Yeah.
them.
They're just fleeing the scene of a fight. Like, that's not illegal.
No, not at all.
And just because they're there doesn't mean they're responsible for what's inside. I don't know. I feel like probable cause. They are all about to be in jail, but only for 24 hours. So
Fair enough.
that seems about right.
I mean, the cops can probably do that. They can arrest them on some type of probable cause, but with no actual evidence, they'll just flip them out on the street, and that's about it.
Yep. We don't confirm. Oh, I don't know. We're not lawyers. We don't know for sure. But
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to check with the authorities.
we're going to go to law school for 8 years. Blood Axe is about to finish off Eric. Like, Eric is about to die.
Wow.
But then a laser blast hits Blood Axe.
Another Blood Axe.
The cops arrive,
Damn it.
including a cop named Stone, who, if Samuel L. Jackson hadn't been cast as
As Nick
Fury, 100% he would have been Stone.
Is he just, his name is just Stone.
Lieutenant Stone. I don't know his first name.
That's an amazing name.
It is.
I'm Lieutenant Stone.
And he's a friend of Eric Thor, so like Eric recognizes him. They've, I guess, run into each other.
Wow.
And Blood Axe leaves. But we also realize that Stone didn't shoot Blood Axe. Stone doesn't have a laser gun.
I was going to follow up with that, but here's the thing.
They-
Somebody named Lieutenant Stone, I totally believe he has a laser gun.
I believed it too until he said, "Oh yeah, no, we heard that blast and we came running. That's when I showed up. I didn't see the shot. I don't know where it came from."
The mysterious laser.
Eric considers who his new guardian angel could be. The original Thor? Maybe Lady Sif? They had a little thing. Maybe she doesn't care about me. She's engaged to Thor. Probably it's not Lady Sif.
Hey, Eric, pull it back a little bit, buddy.
But he determines he needs a new fighting style and a new look.
Ooh.
He goes to a shop called Spotlight Costumes,
What?
and the woman starts discussing options with him. He's got some mock-ups of what he might dress like, and she's like, "Well, yeah, but the cape is very 60s.
Darling, you don't fancy cape.
It's not.
No, it's
I
not.
really wish it was Edna Mode." But she does say one thing. I've always thought an earring can be so sexy on the right man.
Hold on, what? Hold on.
An earring.
A what?
Earring.
An earring for the
90s.
A superhero.
90s.
Okay, fair enough.
24 hours later, Carjack and his men back on the streets. Eric Masterson is about to leave for dinner with Jackie Lucas. She is a business associate who helped him get a job interview. Now it seems their relationship has the potential to be so much more.
Eric.
Except that as they're leaving her place to go to dinner, he overhears the end of the news broadcast as she turns off the TV. He's like, wait, no, turn it back on. And Carjack and his men, by the news, call the Carjack and his men. They're not doing allegedly at all. It's just like, oh yeah, no, Carjack and his men, they're out on the streets.
Like, we know who they are.
Yeah, we know who they are. We just can't prove it, I guess. So he panicked, calls Marcy, his ex-wife, right before he starts a date. That's not the best move, Eric.
Eric, come on, man.
And she confirms, yeah, Bobby saw the news. Bobby tore out of here on a rampage. Yeah. And then Kevin shouts into the phone, "Bobby needs Thor. Can you go, Dad, go call Thor." And Eric grabs his walking stick and he runs out on Jackie.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was putting up with him, too. A guy who walks around freely with a cane.
Not a cane.
Sorry, a walking
A
stick.
rough-hewn Lord of the Rings style walking stick. Cane would be fine. A cane would be perfectly reasonable. That's not what he has.
Just a random walking
We
stick.
accept canes in our lives,
No, I know.
but he doesn't have that.
Amazing.
At their chop shop, which for some reason is still available and not a
Wait,
crime
is it
scene.
still the same chop shop?
That's a fair point. Actually,
Here's the
it
thing.
may not
if
be.
you are Carjack and you've just been attacked by someone who goes by Blood Axe, you change your location, or you get more weapons.
They have more weapons.
Okay.
I don't know that it's a new place. There may not be as many holes in the walls. I don't know.
Fair
It's
enough.
not clear. It's not
Okay.
established.
Okay.
Anyway, he and his men drink and toast to their freedom until Blood Axe teleports in. No, it is the same place.
Wait, he teleports
because
in?
Blood Axe can teleport to places he's already been.
Wow.
So
Wait,
it's the same
we're getting a
place.
lot of mythology about Blood Axe.
That's something that Eric realizes in this scene, is that he can teleport to places he has been.
Amazing.
Yeah. Eric arrives in his Thor form, but in his new outfit, which is the Thor costume, except he's got a ponytail, a sleeveless leather jacket, and although it doesn't appear in this comic, he has sunglasses and a lightning bolt earring on the cover.
Sunglasses?
Well, for all the lightning.
Of course. You don't want to blind yourself with all that lightning.
And a lightning bolt earring.
And a lightning bolt. One lightning bolt earring?
Yeah, of course.
Fair enough.
It was a different time, and it's not like against the ear. It's like dangling. It's a dangling. earring. Yeah.
Lightning bolt. Interesting.
It is very dated.
Does he feel more empowered with his sleeveless leather jacket and his ponytail?
I don't know, man. He feels not Thor.
Awesome.
That's the important part.
Here we go.
He might actually be wearing the earring. It's just not visible in the art, which I think is a crime.
Yeah, seriously. If you're going to put a dope lightning earring in there, you got to make it front and center.
But it's on the cover.
Guys, if any of you know of other superheroes that have worn earrings from the 90s, send them to us.
Oh, Jay. So many.
So many heroes?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Not as many as mullets, but quite a few.
Guys, send us your earrings and mullet superheroes.
Sure. Great. Anyway, Karjak's men gather their guns and prepare to open fire. They don't notice a mysterious figure lurking outside the windows. But that mysterious figure does not intervene. The men open fire. Both Eric and Bloodaxe are bulletproof, but Bloodaxe uses his axe to repel the bullets with magnetic force.
Oh, no.
Driving them back into the Carjackers.
Oh, boy.
And Eric, who had charged in shouting, "No one dies," is pretty upset, and he shouts, "No!"
Because his first thing that he declared immediately failed.
No one was supposed to get hurt. No one was supposed to die. And he lashes out, swinging Thunderstrike like a Louisville Slugger. Bloodaxe says he possesses greater power, but Eric presses the attack until he gets his mace underneath the head of the axe and disarms Bloodaxe. And Eric says, "Raw power is never enough, my friend. Power without responsibility, compassion, and intelligence is merely a defeat waiting to happen." He says he's done trying to trade blow for blow like he's Thor. "I'm my own man now." He knocks Bloodaxe back into a support beam.
Damn it, that would have been an awesome time to go like, "I'm Thunderstrike."
Nope.
Fail.
The warehouse starts shaking. Eric scours the rubble for any sign of Bobby. He hasn't seen if Bobby came here. Where was Bobby going? He hasn't arrived, or maybe he has. Where is Bobby? Then Bloodaxe picks up a car, about to drop it on Eric. But Eric holds Thunderstrike out in front of him, and almost accidentally, a beam of energy flies out of his mace and hits Bloodaxe square in the chest.
Whoa.
Apparently a new thing that, this one can do. It drives Bloodaxe through the wall, and the warehouse drops down on Eric's head.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's buried alive in rubble.
Eric.
Bloodaxe is knocked free into the alley. Good for him.
Yeah.
And transforms into a mere normal trench-coated form. Can't tell any details of this person. We don't know who it is.
We can't see his face or anything?
His or her. We don't know.
Does he have a walking stick?
No. Remember, the axe is back inside.
Right.
Making their escape down the alley. This person in the trench coat goes. Ambulances cart away the victims, and the cops find enough drugs and illegal weaponry to bag all these perps who they arrested. But there's no sign of Thor. Then, Lieutenant Stone and his cops see the rubble begin to shift, and Eric emerges, holding the mace and the hammer, and Stone calls him, "There he is, the mighty Thor!" And Eric says, "No, he's the other guy. My name is, Thunderstrike." And in his head, he thinks, dumb.
Wow.
But it's better than Sparky the Lightning Kid, and I'll never get around to that thesaurus the way I'm going. The name was an easy problem, but where's the real Bloodaxe? What happened to Bobby Steele? And what am I supposed to do with this dumb axe? I must have been...
so he's holding the axe and the mace.
Yeah, he's holding both.
Oh, okay.
I must have gotten hit a little too hard on the head because it actually seems to be whispering to me.
Oh, no.
Boy. Something tells me that my problems have just begun.
Wow.
That's the end of that issue.
Holy crap. Do we find out later on who Bobby Steele is? Is Bobby Steele Bloodaxe?
Well, Jay, you'll just have to go find some Bloodaxe comics. No, not Bloodaxe comics. I guess Bloodaxe comics. Some Thunderstrike comics and find out.
Oh, man.
Or go to Wikipedia like I did.
Fair enough.
It's not Bobby Steele. It's someone else.
Oh, boy, what a twist.
But it is someone who appeared in this comic.
What?
I will tell you that.
What? The suspense is building for everybody. Is it Lieutenant Stone?
Why would I tell you? No, it wouldn't be Lieutenant Stone. Lieutenant Stone and him were in the same scene.
You just told me, Mike, you broke your first rule? Anyways, guys.
That was it? That was the main segment?
That was the main segment.
Yeah.
Mike, that was a great comic about Thunderstrike.
Thunderstrike. We haven't done a Thor comic on the show, but we've done a Thunderstrike comic.
Thunderstrike comic. Wow. Okay, well, guys, that was our main segment. And that'll be taking us to our game, Would You Rather? All right, this is our game, Would You Rather. It works just like regular Would You Rather, but we inject comics into it.
That's the show.
That is. So for this Would You Rather, the question is, would you rather tour the cosmos with the Silver Surfer or the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Ooh, interesting. Now, having read some of the Dan Slott run on Silver Surfer...
That's the thing. Dan Slott's Silver Surfer is a little different than most people know of Silver Surfer.
Well, Dan Slott's Silver Surfer was sort of Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's basically Doctor Who on a surfboard.
But the Guardians of the Galaxy are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. There's a plant person.
There's a plant person.
And a raccoon person.
Weird things to... Well, not really. They're the most distinctive parts of that group. Well, here's the thing. I personally am not much of a partier.
Okay.
I also feel like anywhere we go, we're going to run into trouble.
Here's the thing. Not big on partying, fair. But are you big on talking trees and a crazy raccoon?
What a weird thing to say.
Yeah, and yet they do fit into the same group.
That raccoon's kind of a dick.
Kind of, but not to you. Maybe? You're touring the cosmos
probably
with
to
them.
me. He's kind of a dick to everyone.
So, are you touring the cosmos as their prisoner? I assume you're, kind of riding along.
I assume so, too. It doesn't mean I'm immune from insults.
True.
Words hurt, Jay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
But Groot's nice.
Groot's real nice.
Yeah.
We think.
I'm pretty sure.
We assume so.
I mean, we don't know. Maybe you pissed him off. We have no idea.
Maybe he's a jerk, but we can't tell. I don't know. I feel like they're probably more fun company because I feel like the Silver Surfer, the most fun I'm gonna have is with the places that I go, not with his company.
Right.
He's not like Doctor Who, not like the Doctor. I'm sorry. Where
we almost pissed off a lot of people.
where
it's like saying, man, I really love that Zelda. He
Yeah.
always runs around with that green tunic.
I'm such a trekker. But the Doctor has a lot of personality, whereas the Silver Surfer, not to say that he's a bland character, but he certainly is not as engaging of a character to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
He's more like, oh yeah, I'm sort of distant from humanity, and look at this, it's a planet that eats itself and constantly and whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Which would be super cool to see.
It would be cool to see, and it'd be cool to do. It'd be cool to all the things you did would be cool. You just, you want a little more interesting company. Flip side of that, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Very interesting company.
Perhaps an excess of personality.
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like there's a good mix there. You can just kind of be along for the ride. You can kind of be a fly on the wall more than not.
True. I mean, stay in the ship. Don't get off the ship at all.
Yeah. If you do, though, you're probably made of cosmic cube or something. Like, you'll be pretty pivotal to the plot.
Do you think so?
Or you'll die.
Or you'll die. You'll be like, Peter Quill's buddy who dies, randomly in the first issue run. But you're touring the cosmos, so we have to assume that you're going to make it through whatever adventure is happening.
We don't have to assume
We
that.
don't have to, that's true.
But it's the Marvel Universe. You won't stay dead.
You know what? Here's the thing. Let's look at this situation.
Sure.
Touring the cosmos, right? So if Star-Lord has offered you to tour the cosmos on the Milano, we have to assume that he is...
I keep forgetting the name of the ship is the Milano.
Yeah, is running a con of some sort on you.
Ooh.
And here's the thing. If the Silver Surfer is come with me and tour the cosmos, I feel like it's more sincere. Maybe you are pivotal to something in the universe. Or maybe the Silver Surfer is bored and wants to show you some cool, awesome planets, which, to me, seems pretty great.
That's true. I mean, and also, with the Silver Surfer, you get to kind of prove, what's great about humanity and what's great about the universe.
Yeah.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy are like, yeah, we'll go collect this bounty on this guy made of teeth.
Right.
You want to come?
Want to check it out?
Not especially, no.
Want to watch Groot punch somebody in a giant wrestling match? Which I'd be down to see.
I mean, yes, I do, but I might still run into them as this hanging out with the Silver Surfer.
See, that's the thing. I feel like I would have more safety and still more amazing,
spectacle.
Crazy spectacle experiences with the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But you'd have way more goofy, crazy, zany stories accompanying the Guardians of the Galaxy if you made it out alive.
It's tough, man.
It's a mix.
This is no...
Sometimes I have good Would You Rather.
I think probably Silver Surfer. I think probably where I'm going to go with this one. But it's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up. It's kind of what are you in the mood for? If you're in the mood to have some here's the thing, have some adventure and stakes and crazy scenarios. I feel like that's Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you're looking to connect to something beyond yourself and to having these bigger philosophical spectacle moments, the Silver Surfer is going to deliver that. And you're probably going to be safer with the Silver Surfer. He is a super cosmic being.
There are now, thanks to the movie, there's about a decent chance either way that you're going to save the day with the power of love and friendship.
That's true.
So it's really it's a close call.
You're right.
I feel like...
You know what? I honestly Now that you mention that, because I do like a ragtag team of
You do.
underdog ruffians. It's kind of
Yeah.
my deal.
Yeah.
I probably would side with Guardians of the Galaxy. I might regret it in the long run and hear of all the cool things where a planet eats itself. I think I'd side Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of the day.
I feel like that's a good call. Just thinking about how often I watch Doctor Who versus how often I rewatch Guardians of the Galaxy.
And here's the thing. If we know anything about being a companion to a Doctor Who type character,
It
does not end up well at the end of the day.
Ooh. And Dan Slott's a big... I haven't even read the Silver Surfer run, but yeah, there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance that
Because here's the thing. When you're writing for a character that is endlessly solitary, right? The kind of writer's theme is to eventually put them into a solitary setting again.
Oh no.
Yeah. I think it's now it's more of a safe bet to go with Guardians of the Galaxy. You don't want to be a lesson for the Silver Surfer.
Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Guardians. Yeah,
Guardians
you're
of
right.
the
Yeah.
Galaxy! All right. Man, that became a little bit more obvious when we got to that conclusion.
Ooh, brother.
Well, guys, if you think we're wrong and
Also-
the Silver Surfer is the better pick, please let us know.
Also, going off movie versions,
Mhm.
you know, that Silver Surfer movie is kind of bad.
It is. Yeah. To be fair, I mean, not a fair shake for the Silver Surfer, although I do love Doug Jones, so I wish all good things
And,
for him.
you know, I just almost called him Morpheus. Lawrence Fishburne.
That's not its real name.
Oh, boy.
Oh, jeez. Guys, anyways, that was episode 56 of Because Comics.
It was great.
We'll be posting a new episode every other week.
Thunderstrike.
If you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts in other episodes where we talk about Thunderstrike,
Like last one.
head over to partialarc.com. That's arc with a C.
Blood Axe.
Of course, you can email us any questions at becausecomics@gmail.com.
Carjack.
Or follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr, all at Partial Arc.
Mullets.
And be sure to check out more content from our comic boy wonder, Mike Christensen, at partialarc.com, where he writes articles every Tuesday and Thursday.
Walking stick.
Thanks for listening, and remember,
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra, guys.
Too soon?
Too soon? Probably.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
People are probably going to be very
Probably
mad.
real mad about it.
Should we have an in-depth discussion about it right here on the show?
Right now feels like the proper moment to have an in-depth discussion. Let's see, where should we start?
Because comics.